Hello folks, this is the Hobby King V2 discus launch glider, 1.5 metre. It's a bit of an upgrade from the Versas, which I have and have loved over the last couple of years, but I've almost flown it into destruction, so it was time for a bit of an upgrade. The Versas had a fiberglass pod, which was very delicate. This one has a Kevlar pod. Hopefully it'll be stronger. I've cracked the Versas around here. I've broken the pod to boom join a couple of times, so it's got a dodgy repair to it. I've broken the wing here. That folded up on me, so I've done a rough repair on that. Folded it here, so that needed a repair as well. But even so, it's still great fun to fly. Wouldn't win any competitions, but I just like flying them. So this is the plug and fly version, which has the servos already installed. They're very cheap, poor quality servos, I think, so I might swap for some Diamond D47s that I have. I might take them out of the Versas and pop them in here. The tray is a long way back, which means that you can't get any equipment sort of in this part of the pod here. And I'd like to put my receiver and Vario in there, in that area, so the battery and the BEC can go up the front. So I may have to sort of break out that mount and move it forward if I can. There's been a few reports that this join here is rather weak, so I will epoxy on some carbon fibre toe either side there to strengthen that join. The captive nuts tend to be weakly glued on, so I think I'll drill some holes and force some epoxy in there to secure that a bit better. The tail and the elevator, they're stiffer than the Versas balsa ones, but they're very crude, just flat plate with a rough straight edge. So I'd really like to make my own shaped elevator and rudder if I can. I've been experimenting with some foam and fiberglass and carbon fibre. The flat one I can get to be the same weight, but it's not much better. The shaped foam with carbon fibre is a little bit heavier, so if I can just reduce the weight of this by about 4 or 5 grams, then I'll use my own elevator. You get a throwing peg and you have to pop it in either the left or right hand side, depending on which arm you use for throwing. Little pedestal for gluing the elevator on. Something you have to be careful of is getting the angle of incidence of the elevator and the wing to be both 0. So there'll be a bit of measuring with an incidence meter to get the angle of the elevator right. As with the Versas, the boom is seems to be about 2 inches longer than it should be. The length measured from tip to tail is 46.7 inches or 1185 millimetres. In the manual it says it's 1135 millimetres, so that's 50 millimetres discrepancy between the manual and the actual measured product. And judging by the average length of lots of other DLGs, 1.5 metre wingspan DLGs on the market, the average length is about 43 to 45 inches. So this one is almost 2 inches longer than average, so I think it might be a good idea to chop off 2 inches of the tail. That means that overall it'll be lighter because you'll need less nose weight to get the CG in the right spot. It comes with wing servos already mounted as well, and they're just cheapo plastic 9-gram servos, and they're a fair bit, 2 millimetres too thick for the wing. Not ideal, but for the moment I'll just go with what's installed, and might change them out down the track once they break, which I'm sure they will. Alright, so that's the overall look. It's now time to get to building.